Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 examples so that you know what to do when you have those square root equations, how you can solve these equations using square roots. And we already gave you a little bit of an introduction of what is a square root and how you cancel that squared using the square root. So what I'm going to do here is I want to move this negative 25 over as a positive 25. So I'm going to do plus 25 plus 25. So now I have x squared is equals to 25 and 16. So 25 minus 16 gives you that 9. And then how do you get rid of that squared? Remember that the opposite of squared is square root. So I'm going to do square root here and square root here. So once you do that, you know that they are opposites. Opposites cancel each other out. So you're left with just x by itself. And what is the square root of 9? Square root of 9, we already talked about the square roots. And we know that what number times itself gives you 9 is 3. And there's also negative 3. Remember, negative 3 times negative 3 also gives you that 9. So your answer is going to be 3 and negative 3. So that's going to be your answer for the first one. For the second one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and move the 15 over as a plus 15. And now I have negative 15 plus 15. That gives me 0, right? So now I have 5x squared is equals to 0. I divide by 5. It doesn't make a difference. It's still 0. So x squared is 0. If I do square root, it's still 0. So that my answer is 0. Now we don't have negative, positive 0, so we just put 0 and that's it. I want you to notice these things. I want you to notice how many solutions we have here, how many solutions we have on the second one. The number of solutions, not the solution on itself. I want you to notice these things. All right, and then in the last one, I'm going to do plus 67, plus 67, 67 plus 14, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 6, 7, 8, that's 81. So now you have 9v squared is equals to 81. You want to get rid of that 9, so I'm going to divide by 9. And now you know that 81 divided by 9 is 9. So now I have v squared is equals to 9. So then I'm going to do square root to get rid of that squared. So now I have v is equals to the same thing that I had from the very beginning, 3 and negative 3. So I have 3 different, one of them gives me 2 solutions. This one gives me 0, and this also gives me 2 solutions. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small change, and we're going to redo one of them. I'm going to redo the last one. I'm going to make a small change in that one. So now I have 9v squared is equals to 81. And let's put negative. And this is essentially what we had at the second step of the equation. We're going to divide by negative. So now I have v squared is equals to 81 divided by 9. 81 divided by 9 is negative 9. And this is where I want you to kind of stop here. Remember what I told you about negative inside? I'm going to show you really quick. If I do a square root of a negative answer, I'm just going to show you. So let's say I have 1 and it's negative, and I want to get the square root of that. What happens? I have an invalid. Why is it invalid? Because it's unreal solutions. So whenever you have that negative inside, that's no real solutions. When you have a 0, that's 1 solution. When you have a positive number, you have 2 solutions. Okay, keep that in mind. When you have a positive, 2 solutions. When you have 0, 1 solution. When you have a negative number, that's an unreal solution, so it's no real solution.